Nobody around me. To make sure my phone's on. Good evening, everybody. I would like to welcome you to the June 13th council meeting, and we will begin at 5:29 p.m. First thing I'd like to say is that we have a few council members missing around the table, obviously. Councillor McFadden, Councillor Reid, and Mayor Janangi are all away and off tonight. So it is down to the four of us, which, we could have all sat on the same side, but Councillor Wilson wanted to sit a little bit closer to make it a little even. Anyways, so as we call this meeting to order, I am going to look for an adoption of the agenda. Councillor Wilson, all in favor? And that is passed unanimously. Now I'll look for adoption of the minutes, if everybody read the minutes from our last meeting. Councillor Flowers?
I did read the minutes, and I'd like to move that they are accepted as presented.
All in favor? And that is voted unanimously. So we are going to get right into things. We thank God we have a short agenda. Thank you to administration for that in my role. We're going to business, and we are going to talk about the budget process. So I'd like to invite Ms. Van Kempema up to the podium to present item 6A, all about the budget.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor Federico, councillors who are here. Good job. So I'm here before you this evening. I think it's almost 6 months to the day since we concluded our last budget process by adopting the 2022 through 2024 budgets. So 6 months later, even though it seems like yesterday, we start off the whole process all over again. So that starts by having a conversation with you and receiving our marching orders, so to speak, by having you adopt the proposed budget process that's in your package for this evening's meeting. Things of note, we have started, just as we did last year in the spring, a budget survey. So talking to the citizens of our town as to what service levels is the predominant theme of the survey, as well as some preferences as to funding sources. That survey closed at the end of May, and that will be coming to you at the July 4th Committee of the Whole, the results of that. And that helps drive the budget process throughout the summer as administration starts pulling things together. For October 24th, when you as council it's kind of like first reading, but it's you send this draft budget out into the public realm for comment and feedback prior to starting our budget deliberations. Pardon me. This year, we're proposing to have, just like we sort of did last year, set up 4 dates for council's budget deliberations. Last year, we didn't need the 4th meeting. But just like we did last year, we'll have 2 days in a row, and then a space, another day, a space, and then another day. So those dates that we're proposing are November 15th and 16th for the initial 2 days, which is a Tuesday, Wednesday. Normally we do Monday, Tuesday, but our CIO was not able to attend on November the 14th. Hence, we moved it forward by a day and doing Tuesday, Wednesday. Then followed by the following week, November 21st is a Monday, and then giving it a few days so that we can gather any information that come out of those sessions and be able to provide council with the information they need to make a good decision. So therefore, we've set the last date on November 24th. Just as we did last year, we'll bring it to the Committee of the Whole December 5th so council can see what that looks like when we're finished with all the deliberations and council's recommendations of what they'd like to see ahead of a December 12th budget approval. And the 5th and 12th are Mondays. Just as we did last year, it's a lot of work to put together the book And therefore, once we have council's approval of the budget on December 12th, then administration can go back and start rearranging the book and make it the final document in the way that we'd like to see it. And we'll have that ready for dispersal out to the public and council by January the 13th. I believe that concludes my presentation, and I'd welcome any questions that you have.
Councillor Wilson?
Thank you. Adjourned on.
Will you be putting a motion on the floor first to begin?
Thank you. Yes, I'll move option 1 that we move ahead with the current proposal. I just had a quick question about our actual review and debate period. It seems to be working well in the past. My only question was on the discussion and debate part of it, which is set for November 21st. Are we going to do, or planning to do the same sort of setup we've done in the past, where we set aside any items that seem to be contentious or we want to have more discussion on and parking lot them till the end of the discussion and do a vote at the end? Is that the idea of the current plan?
Yeah, so the current plan foresees things very much like we did last year, where as we're presenting information, if there's questions that arise, by all means, we can have a debate. But if we're finding it is something that's contentious, we can parking lot it and then come back to it. And then we can see where council would like to give administration maybe some direction or questions that they have that might be able to bring back some information that will help council make a decision on that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So same pattern we've used before seems to be working well in the past. Thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Nagel?
Yeah, not a huge point. I was just wondering if maybe we could try doing the format a bit like we've done in previous years. I felt like this past year we went over everything a couple of times and then we ended up taking several days. But in the past, I think we've usually done like a day or a day and a half. We've just kind of gone through it all and gone right to the substantive yes or no point to try and expedite it. I was wondering if we could try and do that. Not a huge discussion right for now. It's 6 months away or 4 months away or whatever, but yeah.
I did have one question, and I'm not sure how my colleagues feel about it, but I would love to see probably an in-person session come in somehow. And I know that we had talked about this before, and I do understand that maybe the round table isn't the best idea if it wasn't necessarily generating a ton of input. But I feel like now that COVID is over, and if we can be back out there in public for at least a day, whether or not it's set up in Spray Lakes Sports Center again, or it's somewhere else, but just having that opportunity where people could come, chat, and it's not a survey. A survey to me, sometimes it's the answers or the selections can be, I don't want to say leading, but I would love to actually hear from people and kind of have that one-on-one dialogue again. And I don't know how everybody else feels, but if they're in support, I'd love to see something like that come forward, and at least for a period of time, for a day, and whether or not we all rotate and take turns, I think it would be beneficial to the community that we're actually out there and talking about it in person. Thoughts? Councillor Wilson?
Yeah, thank you. I agree. It worked well in the past. It worked prior to the COVID shutdown of all kinds of processes. It seemed to work well when we do the one-day community engagement, I think you're referring to, Deputy Mayor, and I would be agreeable to bringing that back if it was will of the group, if we saw value in it. I certainly used to see value in it. I thought it was great to talk to people about the upcoming budget, and as Deputy Mayor Fedeko just said, it's good to have feedback that isn't just from survey, but in person and not leading whatsoever, just a simple, what do you think sort of atmosphere seems to work great.
Councillor Flowers?
I too would be happy to get involved if we decide to go that direction. The more feedback, the better. And yay, COVID's not quite as bad as it was, so we can do a lot more. Thank you.
Yeah, so in the schedule is a public comment period, October 25th to November 10th. We haven't finalized what that looks like, but I really appreciate council's feedback this evening. That'll help guide us in what that sort of comment period might look like. And closer to the time, we can perhaps touch base with council more informally and get some ideas on what you'd like to see, whether it's capital project focused, whether it's the whole budget, whether it's more structured, whether it's more relaxed and whatever comes up kind of situation. So we can certainly do some work leading up to that time.
Perfect. Yeah, I would appreciate that. And obviously we want to hear from the rest of our colleagues who are not here tonight, but have them weigh in. But I think that would be an important thing to come forward, and maybe you can select out some dates, some opportunities, maybe what that would look like, and whether or not it's one day or we rotate it into two. I'm sure probably if we have group consensus that we're all in favor, that I think that would be a great thing to bring forward. Seeing that there is no more questions, I guess, around the table, we do have a motion on the table, Council, so I am going to look for a vote of who's all in favor. And that was voted unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. So moving right along through our fast, speedy agenda here, we have no finance issues going on right now, but we do have one notice of motion. And so I will look to Councillor Flowers to put her motion on the floor where she talks about Seniors Property Tax Support Program.
Okay, thank you. I will do the recommended action, that is that council direct administration to bring back a report on the utilization of the Seniors Property Tax Support Program and the impacts of a $250 increase to the rebate for council's consideration at the July 11th, 2022 regular meeting. So the reason I brought it forward is the taxes have gone up this year. We haven't raised it since we first got in 5 years ago. We had an increase. I think it went from 300 to 500. And I know that seniors have really appreciated, those that are on fixed incomes, that are at home wanting to stay in their home as long as possible. And it really helps them to be able to cover all their expenses when they are not getting increases to their pensions. Those that qualify, it takes the pressure off them. It takes the pressure off the seniors' facilities that are all full. At the moment, we're having those up to mostly to capacity. So there is a growing number of seniors in this community, and those long-term ones, I would love to see them with this assistance.
Any questions, Council? I only have one. Obviously, probably part of this report will be how many seniors utilize the program, that kind of stuff. What does each senior, like if the amount is $500, that's the total budget right now, but I mean, how much money do they get off then for being able to get that support per senior? Is it a certain amount of that?
So the total is $500 that they can, if they qualify.
Per senior?
Per person or per couple.
Okay, gotcha.
Per household.
And so what is like the overall amount, I guess, in that budget? Like if we have 300 seniors come forward, I mean, I guess how big is that?
I'm not sure. I guess that's what we'll learn when administration brings a report back.
Perfect. Okay.
I'd be curious to know as well how many are close to that, if it's a high enough number, but I think that number is set by the province with the low income cutoff, so it goes up as the province raises it.
Perfect. Administration, did you get what you needed for that to come forward? No, we got the thumbs up, so I guess we are good. Okay, so if there are no more questions.
Deputy Mayor, we do need to take a vote.
Yes,
on...
I was getting there.
No, sorry, I thought you were, I apologize. I thought maybe were moving to the next item.
It's just my clunkiness
No,
behind the mic.
it's all good.
So with that, I am going to look for a motion, whether or not we accept the notice of motion. Okay, we just need to vote. Okay, perfect. All in favor? And that's carried unanimously. All right. So we have no more issues going on with council, so we're going to go to the Deputy Mayor's report. So this is perfect because I'm going to start back in 1976. Got lots of time to fill in for Mayor Janung. Actually, no, but it has been a very busy time. And so, not that I am anywhere near to what the mayor has to attend to, but I will go through my list of what I have attended to because Deputy Mayor position in June. Councillor Flowers, kudos to you for taking this role on before. It's definitely been busy. First of all, I did attend a couple grads. I attended St. Tim's grad as well as Rocky View Schools Community Learning Center. Fabulous to be back in person with our graduates. Mine were very small. There was only about 30 plus some students that graduated from each of those, but it was great to be back in person. And just see the families cheer everybody on. It was really nice to see. I did attend very quickly Boys and Girls Club of Cochrane and area had their inaugural BGC Club Day. So I got to stop by, got to see all the kids playing outside, and it was great. Just tons of kids, tons of energy, and it's again, just like the other one, it's good to see everybody back out in person again. I stopped by quickly at Bike Safety Day thanks to Kiwanis Club, Bike Cochrane, and Big Hill Cycle. They had 160 kids, I believe, through that program where they taught them, our Cochrane RCMP were there as well. They taught them kind of bike safety skills from the RCMP side. They checked bikes, they got new helmets if they needed new helmets. It was great. They got to ride the course and or an obstacle course of their choice. I did attend the State of the Address hosted by Cochrane Chamber with Mayor Janung. Councillor Wilson was with me, Councillor Flowers as well, and it was good. Packed house, lots of good, I guess, questions and just informal discussion, great networking. On a personal side, I did host the Cochrane My Cleanup, so we were able to pick up some bags of garbage out there, making Cochrane a little bit cleaner. I realize that I'm getting older, and hosting events like that certainly take a lot more out of you when you're a couple years older from the last time you hosted them. And I also attended Filipino Independence Day yesterday, and I have to say that our Filipino community is just so gracious and so loving and just so appreciative of the town, of what we do. I got up there and embarrassingly danced with my daughter and almost probably lost a leg, but it was great. Thank God media did not share that out there personally, but it was really great to be out there. And lastly, I finished my land use and development elected officials education program course. So I think I've only got 2 more to go, and then I am officially done all those courses. And that is all I have for my deputy mayor's report. Under 1 minute, probably, or 2. Councillor Wilson?
I just thought I'd help you fill some space as well. I was just going to say thank you to administration and Mayor Janung, who's not here today, for a good event on Thursday night. The State of the Town address went very well. It was good to see members from our business community and the Chamber of Commerce show up and have a packed room and actually have people to mingle with and have an event to go to. Again, it's good to be back, and hopefully that can be an annual thing that continues to succeed for us. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that's all I've got for mine.
Councillor Flowers?
Thank you. I have a few things too, more than usual because there's more time tonight. First of all, I wanted to say that I attended some of the seniors activities last week. It was Seniors Week, and FCSS did a great job of putting things on in the community. Seniors on the Bow had lots going on as well. So it was nice to see everybody celebrating that once again. So the second one I was going to mention was also the mayor's report to the community. I thought it was really well organized and put together, and the mayor did a great job. I felt so proud of all the activities that we have going on, and we are busy. Elder abuse awareness, just so you know, it's on June 15th. The mayor is able to attend, and we're planting another lilac tree in recognition of that day. Just a reminder to people to report any elder abuse that they might see. Don't hesitate if you're concerned about physical, financial, or emotional abuse. It's often unreported and unrecognized. So I did something different this time. I brought a few photos, but I didn't get permission to give them out publicly. So only those, I guess, in the room will see them. But I attended the FCM conference with the mayor in Regina, and it was a great learning opportunity, and 3 staff, of course, were there as well. And we had a really good time, learned a lot, met people from all across Canada. And a couple of us went on this tour. Let's see if I can say the name. Mama Way Titan Center Tour. It's a community hub in Regina, and there's many partnerships in this building. It's huge. It's supported by the City of Regina, a school, and a library, and much, much more. They all work together with community members, but in particular Indigenous community members. There's a daycare, police training program, rec facilities and a cafeteria that's actually run by the students for job skills. So that was an amazing project to see. Oh, and these photos, the last ones, if you can go back, were of their elder center that they have right there. So they smudge and have meetings and different things in this elders room. So moving on, then we had also, the Rotary had their Indigenous Circle last week. And let's see if I can find my notes. We had some new community members out. We had a great potluck lunch. It was delicious. And the Boys and Girls Club donated their space so that we could have it there. Variety of food, lots of history was shared. There was all kinds of ideas for programming in the future, and people are just getting more comfortable getting together, so it was a really good evening. A couple of my favorite seniors in that picture. And then I also went to the Filipino celebration yesterday. Unfortunately, I missed Deputy Mayor's dancing up on the stage. I just missed it. But I got my picture taken with the princess there. And it was a beautiful day. The weather held out. They had all kinds of music and food and celebrations. So kudos to them for an awesome day. I think that was it. Thank you.
Awesome. Obviously, we can tell it's been busy around town because we all have big reports and lots of things that we've been at. So we are not done quite yet. Obviously, we do have an in-camera item, which I'll look for a motion in a moment for, but I just want to say, hopefully, Mayor Jadong, that I did you okay. Today, it's the first meeting that the mayor has ever missed, and so, oh, you did one? Okay, so maybe the second. Anyways, we know that he's probably watching and making sure that we're all running the right way. Anyways, I will look for a motion to go in camera. We have an advice from officials, and there will likely be a motion coming out of this meeting. So, Councillor Flowers?
I move that we go in camera, 5:50.
Perfect. All in favor? And that's it. just in time for the traffic. We are out of camera, and so I'm going to look to Councillor Wilson to make our motion to come out of camera.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommended motion that council approves the proposed framework and directs administration to work with the parties involved to finalize the agreement as discussed during the in-camera session.
All in favor, council? And that was voted unanimously. And so with that, that concludes our Cochrane Council meeting for June 13th. Stay dry, council, and Cochrane as well, because it's going to be rather rainy out there. And I would like to adjourn the meeting at 6:13 p.m.